Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for immigration and inspiration. Thank you very much for all your comments and also your efforts, and thank you for staying with me. I really appreciate it. So today we'll talk about citizenship and common questions that people are asking me. As you know, I've been working with immigrants and refugees for the last 3 years, and also I filled out hundreds of citizenship applications, and also I work with many kind of documents, and I found some questions that people always are interested in, and also they're always confused about this kind of questions. So let's get started, and if you're applying for citizenship, it may be useful for you. You'll get more information. So as for citizenship application itself, many people are asking me if they need to provide police certificate if they came to Canada like 3 years ago exactly. Because for example, if you came to Canada directly from your country while becoming a PR, you don't need to have the police certificate. They only require the police certificate in this case. For example, when you came to Canada, you become PR, you lived here, let's say, for 2 months, and then you went back home and stayed there for more than a half a year. So then in this case, they need to know your criminal records and also to do the background check. So if you didn't do that, if you came to Canada from your home country or like from any other country and become PR right away and stayed here for 3 years, you didn't go traveling or traveled maybe for 2 weeks or 1 month or so, so then no police certificate needed. Just remember that one. Also, another common concern about your employment history and address history. So you have to put them in the order that there are no gaps in between, because if you have some gaps, your application will be returned, which can be very pity. So please just remember all your addresses in Canada and also outside of Canada for the last 5 years. You have to include every single address for the last 5 years, no matter if you just lived here for 3 years or 5 years. If you lived here only 3 years, so then you have to include addresses from your home country, and then no gaps in between. Just go with these addresses back to back. The same with your employment history. Like if you've been here only 3 years and sometimes you didn't work, it's okay to include that you've been unemployed, and it's okay to put some employment history from your home country. Also no gaps. Remember that one. As well as your taxes, you have to file your taxes for the last 3 years, and government, in this case, they don't require your tax information, only your social insurance number, and they can check it by themselves. You don't need to provide your notice of assessment or how much money you made for these years, so it's totally fine. As for your traveling history, guys, also you need to keep in mind that you have to know when you traveled, and the best way to keep track of it, you have to have your itineraries or tickets, so then you can see when exactly you left the country, when exactly you came back. Don't rely on that stamps that sometimes some government they don't put the stamps, or sometimes the dates are different. For example, if you fly from Canada, you arrive to that country 1 day in advance, and then there is a confusion, and I can tell you that this 1 day which will be missing, it can be a huge difference in your application, and they are checking it for sure. So be careful about these dates, and please check the dates carefully, and also keep track of all the travelings that you've done for the last 5 years. It's very, very important. As for your address as well, I wanted to mention that some people, they're asking me, should I put the addresses that I've been traveled to? No. In your address history, only the residential addresses that you lived permanently, let's say. Or let's say if you came to Canada, you have to put your address in Canada, not the addresses when you traveled, let's say for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No, it's not necessary. So in this case, just keep in mind and keep track of all your records, of all your addresses. It's very, very important here. Another thing that can be useful for you, I noticed that some people are coming here without birth certificates or passports or anything like this. So as for birth certificates, I know that in some countries they are not having this kind of documents. So in this case, you have to find some alternatives. let's say you came from Nepal, and I know that in Nepal there is a vaccination card. It's a yellow card, and you can use it instead of the birth certificate. Or let's say you came from Eritrea, so then you would have some baptizing certificate or anything that indicates parents and names and children names, basically. It's very useful. Also, let's say if you came from Syria, so you will have family book. So this is additional proof, and officers, they know that in some countries people that they don't have birth certificates, but if you have some alternatives, it can be helpful. If you cannot find anything, so then in this way you have to write a letter of explanation saying that we don't have the birth certificate, I'm the parent of my child, and notarize it. It will be working. Of course, maybe they will request some more documents from you, but in this way, this is the only way, basically. It can be as an alternative, and just use this one. For example, some people are asking me, how long do I need to wait until I'll get my citizenship? So currently it's very, very hard to answer this question because of the COVID, actually, and also because of many delays in government, and also government is working very randomly right now. I'm not sure why they're doing this, but it's hard to answer it because yes, many applications are being delayed, and I noticed that regular processing time, it can take up to 1.5 years. It used to be 1 year, but right now it's very hard to predict how long it will take for you. It may take 2 years, and I see some people are waiting for 3 years, and it's very, very frustrating, honestly. They are getting mad, they also complain about it, but you cannot do anything. You just need to wait for the response from the government, and this is the only way, basically. So yes, let's talk about timeline. So I see that, for example, when you submitted your application, when they received it, so then it takes up to 3, maybe 4 months when you receive your application number. So after you received your application number, you can just relax, do whatever you need to do, just be patient. And after you received your application number, by the time you'll receive your citizenship test online, it may take you 6 to 8 months, I would say. Sometimes it's longer. It depends on your situation as well as on your family situation. So, but usually that's what I see, how it's processed. After your citizenship test is done, so then the citizenship ceremony, it takes also around half a year until you receive your link. And it depends on the officers, it depends on the government authorities, how they schedule the citizenship ceremonies. I know. Another thing that people are asking me about is online citizenship tests. So people are having a lot of questions, and yes, some people are coming, they are passing online citizenship test, and they're really frustrated because they say, okay, I've been preparing for the citizenship test online based on some online practices, but the questions are totally different. So my answer for that, please read the book. Discover Canada is your main resource that you have to prepare with. If you have some online, let's say, questions, don't usually rely on that much. Of course, you can practice it and it may be helpful, but I would say you have to learn Discover Canada because it's very, very important. I see that some people are confused with the questions, with the word order, how they pose the question itself. So if you know the information, you will be able to answer the question. If you just rely on this test online, the preparation test, whatever it is, so then of course you will not know the answers because you just get used to these multiple choices and that's it. So you have to read the general information and you have to know the information about Canada, about the history itself. So then it will be easy to answer these questions. Also, another thing that people are asking is about the citizenship ceremony. So right now it's a bit different because it's online. So what you have to prepare? You have to prepare your passport if you have one, your PR card, your landing documents, and you have to print out the form that they are sending to you to your email address. So it's very important. You would need to cut your PR card during the ceremony. They will ask you to do so. And also you would need to sign this piece of paper that you have to print out and then email it back to their responsible office. So yeah, the online citizenship ceremony is not super hard. You just need to follow the instructions. You can stay with your family members, they can help you. It's over Zoom, but be careful about your email address. This is very important. Please keep it up to date and don't forget your passwords, because everything is online right now, and they send your citizenship test and citizenship ceremony to your email address, and if you don't have the access to your email address, you will miss it. So then your whole process, your all waiting time will be just wasted, honestly. And I see some kind of examples like this, which is really pity. Another thing that I wanted to mention, sometimes government, when you applied, for example, sometimes they ask for fingerprints. So don't delay with your fingerprints. Go to the police and pass your fingerprints and send it right away. So in this way you will expedite your process and you will not delay it, because if you delay it, and I see that some people don't even check their email and they don't provide a fingerprint, so their citizenship application is on hold, and sometimes it can be cancelled because of that. So be mindful, check your emails all the time, provide all the information that the government is asking, and you will be good. So good luck to you guys, and hopefully this information will be helpful. Please comment below, ask some questions. I'll try to make more videos to answer more questions, and good luck with your citizenship process. I know it can be long, but it's worth it, and you can get your passport, you can travel around the world, so the sky is the limit and you'll be good. Thank you so much, and see you soon in the next videos.